What is your full name?
Frankie Paige,
What is your age?
23.
And which church do you attend?
I don't attend church.
But you are Catholic.
No, I don't go to church because I don't believe in God.
Oh, that's really it for me. That's all I need to know, Miss Paige.
That's it?
Yes.
Welcome to Stigmata, where the fifth wound is Gabriel Byrne's spear. This is spoilers.
Rubby.
This is
A spear is a weenie.
It's a weenie.
Okay, everybody. Welcome to spoilers. This is Brother Jordan hosting from Michigan tonight. Today we're going to talk about the movie Stigmata, the 1999 classic. But today we're also going to start off with introductions and an opening question. So guys, I think we're going to go west to east and switch it up a little bit. The intro question tonight is, based on the subway experience, which is pretty gruesome, what is the worst public transportation story that you have? Corey?
Hi, this is Corey, also known as Kylo Ren Memes, recording out of Simi Valley, California. Man, I don't take public transportation a lot. This is a tough one. Wish I had some time to really think.
I figured California Corey would have a good one.
Yeah, but public transportation just scares me. It's like, I've done it, but it's just really not a pleasant experience, like where I live. I've seen some like hobos fight on a bus in Seattle. I lived there briefly, so that was kind of fun. I mean, it wasn't like the worst thing that ever happened to me. Nothing really happened to me, but I've witnessed some violence, so that's pretty cool.
How much money did you win?
Dude, Corey's story probably has so many stories if he's just downplaying this bum fight. Like, I got shit compared to that.
Dude. Corey's in the seedy underground of Simi Valley.
Who is next westest? Pap Dog? Ugh. Fair enough. Josh, I think you're next.
Man, I do think I am coming up next. This is Josh from Goshen. I wish our area of the country, Elkhart, Goshen, Dunlap, had more public transportation. There's very little. So whenever I've used it, I feel like it's been when I'm out of town on assignment or whatever. But I think, man, just off the top of, there's not too many. Like, I missed a flight once, and that sucked, and it was like all my fault. But like, I don't know. I'm gonna just go reverse answer. Best public transport, and it was actually the Uber to the airport, and this guy just started digging into trying to get to like my ancestral history, asking me about my German ancestors, like I know anything about that. I don't know, really just giving me like an existential experience on the way to the airport. Like, just a talkative dude kind of blowing my mind and being out there, but also being like a lovable human. So I'll give a shout out to that.
I have a quick question. Do you guys like it when Uber drivers talk to you?
I don't like talking. Of course, I wouldn't like a stranger talking to me. Just drive me
Well,
there.
you're in the right place, Mikey.
We have to pay Mikey so much to be on this podcast. He hates talking.
Yeah, I charge you guys by the line.
It's got to be somewhere in the middle. You don't want to be like silent and a serial killer, but you also don't want to like have to continue a conversation, I think.
Just crank up the tunes, man.
Oh, yeah. Speaking of, Mikey.
Mikey, recording from Goshen, Indiana. I would have to blame my worst public transportation experience on Stevie's wife, Lauren. We were when you want to go to Chicago, you got to take the South Shore. So you hop on the South Shore. We had gone to Lollapalooza or something, and we were coming back, and everybody's drunk, hungover, all that jazz, and we got seats. We're seated in like the last car or something, and we're all sitting together, and Lauren is like, I don't know, she's freaking out because some guy is clearly drunk, and I think she thinks that he's staring at her for like 5 seconds or something. So she's like, can we please move cars so I can get away from this guy? He's really freaking me out. He was just drunk. He wasn't even like bothering anybody. He was just sitting by himself, drunk off of his ass. So Lauren made us move up and down the South Shore. We lost our seats. I don't think we were sitting together anymore. She just really caused a lot of pain and strife for that return trip.
Man.
Wow, no Stevie or Lauren on the pod to defend.
Stevie was upset about it as well. He was like, Lauren, nothing is happening. He's just drunk. Just stop staring at him.
Resentment.
Lauren's so pregnant she's
Roasted
about
on
to
the
pop,
pod.
just being besmirched on this podcast.
Stevie,
right?
Lauren, we love you guys. Brett, I think you're next.
This is Brett recording from Fort Wayne. It's like a tie between every single time I've ever been on the L in Chicago, but I'll go with a lighter one. I was in Bloomington and I was at a bar and I didn't want to be there, so I called a cab and I waited out for the cab. And then the cab got there, I got in the back, and then some douchebag and his girlfriend, the guy comes up to the cab driver, he goes, I'll give you $20 to ditch this guy in the back. I was like, dude, you can just share this cab with me. You don't have to. He ended up getting in the car, but I'm like, I looked at him with a jaundiced eye after that because that was really douchey. That's it.
Wait, you said he got in with a girl?
Yeah, him and his girlfriend or whatever. They got in, but I mean, like, I wasn't going to get out. I don't care if he paid the cab driver or not. I paid for this cab. I signed this contract, so you're taking me where I'm going.
Brett is all about contracts. Damn it.
Man, back in the day, cabs sound terrible.
They really do.
Yeah, and then this is Jordan again from Michigan. I would say my worst one is somewhat recently. I think it was the last time I flew back from North Carolina to the Midwest. I woke up from a nice restful nap in my window seat, and the dad who was in the aisle seat was helping his young son or daughter who was sitting between us puke into the bag, and I was like, oh, I'll just like face away, and I have my headphones in so I can't hear, but the smell is the worst part. So that was pretty miserable, and we were in the back of the plane, so it took us a while to get out of there. Probably worse than someone getting crucified on the subway, actually.
Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed art thou amongst women, and blessed is the fruit of thy womb, Jesus.
Anyways, this movie, Stigmata.
Great transition.
It kind of is nice because it breaks itself naturally into 5 little portions here, and so I think I'm going to kind of throw it to each of you for each part. And Brett, I'm going to start with you and throw it over to you for this first intro portion. Can you set us up a little bit with kind of what's happening in the beginning? We do have a few like music video sequences here, but as far as the story goes, can you set the scene for us a little bit?
Are you talking about in Brazil?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so Gabriel Byrne, Father Gabriel. He's you find out later he's a priest, but he was a chemist, like a scientist before that or something like that. So he works for the Vatican, and he is there investigating I guess you could call it a miracle or whatever. So he's there. There is a white statue of the Virgin Mary, and she has blood coming out of her eyes. One of the priests there just died. So I don't know. That's pretty much what's going on there. And then some kid goes and steals a rosary from the dead body, which just automatic hell for that kid.
Automatic hell?
Oh yeah.
What's with this automatic heaven and automatic hell stuff? I never knew about this.
It's just
Is that in the Bible?
just joking.
That's like number 2, Corey.
Catholic,
You
baby.
can't do that.
That's all from the Gospel of Thomas, that automatic stuff. But
Gospel of
Brett, you did fine with the plot detail, but does anybody else think this might be the best whole part of the entire movie?
I thought it
This
was
opening?
so
Yes.
good. At the shots of the blood actually coming down was like, I thought were like awesome.
Yeah, the set piece and just the intrigue, and
The
you
doves.
get your first glimpse of him putting the talk boy, like turning that on, his little audio device.
You got it.
Hi, kids. I'm home early.
I think all expectations kind of go out the window when we get that crazy intro music credits where it's just like garbage rock for like 5 minutes, taking us into the
Shazam
story.
couldn't even find the song. I was trying to Shazam it, and it was like, song not found.
I mean, that's just the way some of these late 90s movies rolled, man. Like that. Like,
Matrix.
this reminds me of, like, The Craft, or maybe, like, The Crow. Like,
End of
it's
the-
just the way... 13 Ghosts.
It reminded me a lot of End of Days.
Well, yeah. I mean, there's
7.
one big tie-in, and that's Gabriel Byrne, for sure.
She hooks up with a guy, too, in that sequence. Is that Rob Lowe? I don't think it is
No,
on
it's-
Wikipedia, but
That's the guy who stole Kelly Kapowski from Zach,
he looks just like Rob Lowe.
and he's in Starship Troopers.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, he has about 5 seconds of screen time in this movie.
Yeah, I kept waiting for him to come back, and after a while, I was like, he's not coming back.
Steven. No, he gets cucked by Father Andrew here. Brett, I'm gonna stick with you for a minute here because I think you'll be able to explain. I legitimately do not know like the different roles in the Catholic Church. We're in a big Catholic church. Gabriel Byrne's character, Brother Andrew, I think is who he is. Is a priest. I don't know. Again, this is why I need your help, Brett. But we go back to him, and he's reporting back about his findings in Brazil, and we meet a few new characters. Can you tell us a little bit about them and the hierarchy that we see here?
Yeah, so in the Vatican, obviously the Pope is the big tuna, but the next level down from the Pope are the cardinals. I mean, they practically run just about everything. Cardinals for each district all over the world, and then they go is about 50 positions below that. So I would imagine that this guy is an extremely high-ranking cardinal, and I mean, let's just say if the Pope died, he'd probably be one of the cardinals that would help elect a new one, but I don't really know. And then they all have assistants, stuff like that, like brother is just a term. I've seen people use brother for not.
Like Brother Jordan.
Exactly. Not a priest.
Can I add a little bit here, Brett? Because I work at a Catholic institution, so maybe I can help a little bit here. But if you've seen Star Wars, the Galactic Senate, it's that.
Definitely. Yeah, the Pope and the Emperor are the same.
Whoa.
The Emperor is the Senate.
Well, that's
I'm
kind of what
talking
you were saying.
pre-palp. Pre-palp.
Wait,
Oh,
but he is
okay.
the Senate.
I am the Senate.
Has anyone ever told you the story of Jesus the Wise?
But yeah, so he's in charge of a. They look for miracles and stuff like that. So, and they're like They're like the investigative arm of the church. They're always looking for new
Pretty
stuff.
interesting job. Pretty cool setup.
Yeah, it's not bad. And he's got probably quite a bit of power. Which, as you know, Catholics are immune to power. I mean, they've never taken advantage of it.
I don't know of
ever.
any cases.
Not a once.
Never. Maybe once or twice, but it was over in like a day.
So, as Brett said, Cardinal Daniel Houseman, which is the most American cardinal that I've ever heard of. But he's played by Jonathan Pryce, which is also the High Sparrow in Game of Thrones. It's really hard for me to separate him from this role, but he's pretty much the same guy to me. Corrupt religious dude that just takes advantage of it all. So we're kind of going back and forth between some scenes in the Vatican or wherever his office is, and then back in what city are we in? Did they ever establish Pittsburgh? Right.
Well,
yeah. So we're going back and forth.
Pittsburgh?
The holy city of Pittsburgh.
The most blue, disgusting-looking city you've ever seen.
So, Mikey, I'll come to you on this next part. We first meet Frankie in the club scenes. She's a hairstylist. She works in a salon with some cool girls. What do we see next here as far as the first entrance of our new character, Stigmata?
Yeah, so she just got banged, and she's waking up the next day. She's like hungover or something, and her mom calls her on the phone, wakes her up, and she's just like, "Did you get my package?" And she goes over and checks her mail, and she
was too busy with another package.
Yeah, she finds that. We find out that her mom was the one that bought that rosary from the little kid in Brazil, and she had sent that to Frankie as a gift or something. Her mom travels a bunch, and she just gave her a gift. And Frankie, I guess it comes to light that this thing is cursed or something, because Frankie is experiencing a bunch of shit after she opens up this package. But yeah, after that, she's just kind of going about her day. She is making like a cup of tea or something, and this is where she gets like her first symptoms of something is off. She thinks she's pregnant, but she is like disgusted by the smell of the tea that she just made, and then she like meets up with her friend and they go to work or something. But that's about it as far as the setup of Frankie.
Yeah, it's weird because she starts seeing these, or starts like feeling the effects of this rosary, but I don't think, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think she ever actually puts it on. Instead, it's like sitting on an envelope with her name on it. And I don't understand the connection. I almost forgot about the rosary for a while.
Yeah, like how did it transfer or whatever to her?
Right. Yeah, how did the spirit get to her through that envelope with her name?
Father Alameda's Horcrux was in that.
It just has to be close by.
I was thinking though too about that, like how come the little kid that stole it off the corpse didn't start getting the stigmata shit going on?
Or like the mailman. Or her mom. But no, there's another, like, when she's in the bath in one of these scenes, she like takes a bite out of an apple, and I was like, ooh, like interesting biblical reference. And then I immediately stopped tracking that because it's not worth like clocking references with the quality of film that this is. She has some weird stomach tattoo, and I was trying to like figure out what that was. Sorry, what, Pat?
Isn't it an interesting biblical reference? Like, I just looked at her taking a bath by herself, a million candles lit, and she's eating an apple. I'm like, who the fuck would ever do this? Like, this is that would take so long to set up, and who eats an apple in the bathtub? Like, what are you gonna do with the core when you're done?
And does she live in a men's locker room? What is going on with her apartment? It's just all tile, and she has lockers everywhere.
It's a lot of.
She throws one on top of Gabriel Byrne at the end of the movie.
A lot of leaks in that men's locker room in there.
I think. Can I take a really quick reference from that bathtub stuff? I think a better horror movie, a one that's actually going to scare us, like Ari Aster's Hereditary. You're going to show a naked body for the shock value, and they went like 99% of the way. And I'm not like sitting here rooting for bags like maybe some people on this pod do, but like I feel like the moment they showed her in the bathtub and they didn't show her fully nude, it was like this movie was kind of saying like, we're not gonna take you all the way there or something. Does that make sense at all?
I was also let down, Josh.
Come on.
What? I can't stand Patricia Arquette, man. She fucking is the worst. Like, she sounds high all the time when she's acting. I don't understand it.
I find her very off-putting as well. I can't quite pin the reason down though.
Is that her or the movie? Because
No, it's her.
I mean, it's just like 5 scenes of her thrashing around all movie, or 4 scenes. She never gets to the 5th one, but it's just like,
oh, she
just
gets
freaking out the whole movie.
And then we sort of do get another religious explainer narration portion here, which again, Brett, you don't have to step in here because it was a nice explainer about the Gospels and how they worked. I thought it was interesting that they were only given every 3rd page. Josh, since you do work at a Catholic institution, what do you know of this every 3rd page codex bullshit?
Movie trash, I guess. I don't know.
For your job, are you only given every 3rd frame to edit?
That would be so cool if that were the case. I think the power struggle between this cardinal and this scientist who is also a priest is pretty cool stuff, and it actually did have me at the beginning of the movie. Even at the very beginning, like you said, that music video with all the blue, I was like, yeah, these Patricia Arquette scenes are for the birds. But I do like these. I don't know. Jordan, did you see anything in that power struggle? Did you just hate that?
I mean, I hated the first 45 minutes of this whole movie. It really bothers me when they show a power struggle, but it's just I said do this, go do it, and then we don't get any of the background, I guess. Later, when it kind of changes a little bit into the religious conspiracy thing, it was a little bit more gripping for me. But yeah, these intro parts are kind of rough.
Gabriel Byrne says something that summarizes his job pretty well around this section. He says, "I travel around the world investigating miracles, then I disprove them." So I think it's a good way to set up what he's doing. He's only there to prove the hoaxes, you know?
But that's awesome at first glance, because really in real life, the Catholic Church, if they're doing their due diligence, should be proving miracles that are bullcrap wrong. They shouldn't be taking miracles where they actually aren't. That would just discredit the church in the long run. So you think he's doing good, and at first, it's the way I took it, a tough job because it's disheartening, but he has to do it. And then it's, Jordan, you tossed this question to me, this whole thing about the 3rd pages, or he can only see every 3rd page. It's basically no, it's not because the Catholic Church is doing their due diligence. It's because they want to so tightly control all the information that's coming out.
So that's what you experience in your job.
Honestly, no. I'm given a lot of free reign, honestly. Yeah.
Fair.
So, Jordan, I was hardly paying attention to this movie about 10 minutes in. So, can you explain to me what the conspiracy is? In the end, it's the scrolls. Jesus was had his diary or something out there, and somebody found it. And he was probably dude, being a messiah sucks ass. I hate this or something. What did they not want to get out?
I mean, I think Josh squealed in the background. It really is a sacred text situation that we have going on here.
What's more sacred than the Bible? What are these
sacred Jedi text?
What is this sea scrolls or whatever?
It's basically, yeah.
The sacred text.
This is really Catholicism versus Protestantism. He said there's this Gospel of Thomas / the Gospel of Jesus that they're referencing in this movie. And Jesus says it's okay to bypass this bureaucracy / this church system and go directly to God. And so basically the cardinals and the powers that be do not want that getting out, because
fuck that shit.
Yeah, they want people to be relying on them.
I mean, are we supposed to... Did they say that in the plot? Because they have those three title cards or whatever with what the scrolls were, but they don't explain what was on those pages or...
Sacred text.
I don't know. It's just seems like it was so...
Mikey, have
I have
you never heard of the Dead Sea
but
Scrolls?
it's are we supposed to have that knowledge going into Stigmata? Why would nobody have one scene of exposition of
No, I don't think that we're supposed to have that knowledge. I think I was talking to Brittany about it. I'm guessing those are probably kept in the Vatican library and
The restricted section.
probably only scholars and people can see them or whatever. But there are like over 100 actual gospels there's a bunch of stuff that didn't make it into the Bible. So
I did a little research on this. There is a Gospel of Thomas that was found, like a Dead Sea Scroll, 1945 or whatever. There's a postscript in this movie that references it. But basically, that whole, quote, gospel isn't like a story weaved through like the other ones are. It's just like 22 or 220 like best of quotes from Jesus.
yeah, sayings.
So,
And I think they said like 80% of them are actually in other gospels, right?
so I'm guessing / hoping that one of them is split open a piece of wood and you will see me. Turn over a stone and there I am. Because that's said in this movie like 19 times.
Has the Catholic Church in this movie never heard of like the Streisand effect? Like they're giving so much more credibility by covering up these other gospels than they would be just like, nah, that's not shit to us.
Again, these gospels are known. They just didn't make the Bible.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like that's what I'm saying. It's like, what was the Council of Nice?
Yeah, that's like an ace in the hole. Like, why wouldn't you expose that? Like, this is the real deal. We're the real religion. I don't know why they would try to cover up what this lady is going through. Like, she's clearly experiencing some metaphysical religious type of experience or something, and they're just like, we got to cover this shit up. We can't let this get out.
Yeah, there's your proof. There's proof of God exists right here. Like, here's a modern day thing. You think they want to publicize
People
it?
believe what they want to believe, though. Like, how long in Star Wars? How long did it take Han Solo to believe in the Force when he literally saw it like a whole movie?
That's true.
Kylo?
Pokey religions and ancient weapons are no match for a good blaster at your side, kid.
Exactly.
Oh my god.
Yeah, the church would have to like admit fault and admit that they are wrong about some things, but God does exist, and they're not willing to like take that L, which is kind of disheartening.
At first, I thought this movie would be terrible for spoilers because it's a bad movie, but then I realized how many Star Wars references we'd get in. But I really just want to dive into this though, because like, if you were like the friend of Frankie and you saw this shit happening, like
Portia de Rossi, Ellen's wife,
Yeah,
is
I-
one of the hairdressers, so you know the culture at that work. Like, it seems good, it's not.
Toxic hairdresser environment.
It's toxic.
well, you heard them whispering when she was in the back. No, but like if one of your friends started showing up with like marks on their wrists and their back and shit, like what would you even say? Like how I don't know. I was gonna try to do a trivia about the cases of stigmata worldwide and all this stuff, but you can't find any numbers because the Catholic Church covers it up.
Like, even from like the first one, it's like Patricia Arquette has the 2 holes in her wrists or whatever, and they're like, this was like a suicide attempt. It's like, how the hell would she have hammered in the second one? You know what I mean? Like, what? How would that even be possible? Like, if I were her friend, Jordan, to your question, I would at least think she's like, at a minimum, going crazy. You know what I mean? If not literally possessed, depending on how spiritual she is.
I love how she keeps getting released like 12 hours after every crazy thing that happens to her. The doctors are just giving her the go-ahead to leave
Yeah, you
the
should probably just
hospital.
go home on your own. No worries.
Yeah, you need some rest in your creepy-ass apartment.
Patricia Arquette with like the wrist wounds and bandages totally brought me back to Nightmare on Elm Street 3, Dream Warriors. The best Nightmare on Elm Street movie, by the way. But anyway.
No, it also cracks me up because Father Andrew, he immediately dismisses her at the coffee shop when she like shows him the wrists at first. He's like, kind of interesting, but I'm good. And then she just like turns them over so he can see the other side. Like, oh, they go all the way through. This is intriguing.
Well, she is dismissed because she's an atheist. And, you know, religious people are always treating us atheists bad.
For a little persecution before the podcast even started.
I know, right?
Threats and everything.
I don't think Gabriel Byrne knows that the curse of stigmata or whatever you want to call it is just transferred through touch of a rosary or something. It's the same way corona is transferred. It's got to disinfect.
Close contact for 15 minutes.
Yeah.
So Frankie has holes in her wrist now. She's also been lashed in the subway. Man, she keeps... So we've also gone over the very leaky apartment. Mikey, you touched on how she keeps getting let off when she should be on suicide watch, but I think she may have set a record for the most times one person has run into traffic in one movie.
Well, you know, Jesus also battled traffic for much of his time in the Bible. I think that was kind of a reflection on what he experienced. I guess every time she freaks out or something, gets a new injury, she flops on the ground, whatever, and runs out the door and into traffic. But the first time she thinks she sees a woman with a baby in like a red cloth, and she throws the baby into the street, and it looks like the baby gets run over by a car, and then she runs out there in the middle of traffic, causing accidents and stuff. And there's no woman, there's no baby. She just looks like a crazy person. And I don't know what any of that was supposed to represent. Nia Long comes along and takes her home and just leaves her there, I guess. Doesn't I don't know. Everybody's like so blasé about everything Patricia Arquette is going
I mean,
through.
was that baby the Jesus character?
There's always like a demon baby.
I kept thinking of like Passion. I thought it was like the little Pappy baby.
The little Pappy demon.
I
baby.
looked away during this scene, and I definitely thought out of the corner
For
of my eye
sure.
that it was the Pappy baby. I had to rewind it. Was that Kirsten? Was that the fucked up Passion baby? No.
Not to harp on like the aesthetic of this movie, but that's like one of my biggest problems. And in that scene that Mikey was talking about, like the woman's wearing like a bright blue coat and the baby is like wrapped in this bright red cloth, and it should look really awesome, but it's all in this fucking muted, nasty, I don't know, Josh, what you call it, like a filter or something. I'm probably not saying that right, but
Yeah, and the whites are like totally washed out.
it's
if you
gross.
notice.
Everything's greenish.
Yeah, it's so gross to look at.
Like I don't want to. God, I'm not comparing these two movies, but like a Schindler's List, like the red, how awesome it stuck out, but this was like
Yeah.
Schindler's Light. I mean, it was just like really bad.
It came to me like a poorer version of the movie Seven, actually, Brett, which is a spoilers you hosted.
Super
That's
saturated.
what Pappy said. Like it's got all the gloominess. They're trying to do like double up on the gloominess, but like you got a movie with demons and stuff. It's not even close to as gloomy as Seven. So
But speaking of Seven, and also another classic like thriller that reminds me of this, True Detective Season 1, like the movie would have just been so better served with Patricia Arquette as like just a barely side character that you only see a couple of times through the movie. Like we don't need to see her at her job in the club to realize she's like a normal urban woman. You know what I mean?
and I was thinking the same thing. Like the scenes in the club, the scenes in the barber shop, whatever it's called. It's just they serve like zero purpose. I'd much rather see Gabriel Byrne going around trying to figure out what's going on, like fighting with, because like they brought in Boris the Blade. I don't know if anyone gets that reference.
Boris
I know
the
Pappy
Bullet
doesn't,
Dodger?
unfortunately.
Yes.
Yeah, Boris the Bullet. Like
Why do they call
they
him
brought
that?
him in at the very end. They could have had him there doing way more. Like I wanted to hear about like the guy who was translating, like the linguist, Boris the Bullet Dodger, and then the other. I mean, they're following her. The time that she goes to the club at the second time, it's like the most useless thing. She could have done that anywhere, and she had to do that in the middle of the day. I mean, they were trying. I think they were trying not hard enough or too hard. I don't know.
The fact that she's not religious, so she doesn't know anything that's going on in the movie. She's just experiencing this stuff, and Gabriel Byrne has all of the knowledge of what's happening to her, and he's like just catching up with her during the day. Like, we have to follow Patricia Arquette through the whole movie, and I don't care about her. I want to know more about Gabriel Byrne solving this mystery.
I have a question for the old people, Kylo, Josh, Brett. Why were clubs in the 90s so angry?
Oh, I had a question on this too.
Ace Ventura, Angry Club, Matrix, Angry Club, Stigmata, Angry Club. They're all so fucking. It's like a pissed off environment. Why are people go?
Lots of batting
What's
cages.
happening?
Yeah, why is it all concrete and
Chains.
chain link fence?
Okay, we are older than you, but we're still millennials, and that is a Gen X thing. And Gen X has a lot of angst.
Things were actually lightening up around this time. Like, as grunge started to like fade out and like the late 90s started to pick up, like I think the scene actually got happier around this time. So this is like the happier version of the 90s, I'm pretty sure.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, I was 16 when it, but I wasn't even 16 when it was 2000. So I definitely didn't go to any clubs, Pap. Sorry.
Yeah, I was in 7th grade. So
Man, I haven't seen a club scene that good since Dave Skinner's The Streets video, Blinded by the Lights.
Playing this tape.
It reminded me of Blade
Definitely Blade.
when he chopped
God,
up
I
all the
love the
vampires.
fact that you went almost 30 years of your life, and then you discovered Blade, and you're like, oh crap, Blade's awesome.
Dude, I gotta watch the next two. I'm excited.
All right, we're gonna keep moving along this plot. Corey, I'm gonna throw to you on this next one. After she runs out in traffic the second time, Gabby B / Father Andrew chases her into an alleyway. Can you give us a little bit about this? Like maybe the only spooky part in the whole movie?
well, she starts to kind of get semi-possessed, or maybe fully possessed, I guess. Her eyes start to change as she goes through these
Flaccid possessed
experiences. One of the big things she does is she starts writing in a foreign language and speaking in a foreign language as well sometimes. This is very intriguing to Gabriel Byrne. It's like not a language he knows, but he like takes some recordings and some photos and sends it back to his contact at the Vatican. I mean, at one point, this is I think a little bit later in the movie, but the guy's like checking it out and he's like panicked. He's like, oh fuck. He gets the pictures of the language and he kind of tells Gabriel Byrne a little bit, but then he like starts fucking deleting it like rapidly. And I'm pretty sure everyone in the library thinks he's looking at porn.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, she starts going full demon at a couple points. I mean, she has like just as a spooky demon part, then there's like the horny demon later on where she's like trying to fuck him.
It is an interesting possession.
Is that all supposed to be Father Almedia or whatever? Or is that just him at the end?
I think
what's
she's
going on
actually
with
into
this?
him, and I think he hops on that train, like trying to, he's trying to get Gabriel Byrne to kind of renounce his priesthood. Is that? I think she's definitely into him. I feel like that for sure. And then
Why is this a demonic possession by a holy priest who's like a good guy trying to get the word out? I don't understand that premise at all.
Makes no
could he
sense.
just be a
It doesn't
ghost?
make any sense.
Yeah, I don't understand.
A ghost.
Was what he was... I mean, I don't know what Father Almedia was doing before this movie started, but like, was he trying to, I don't know, do something evil or something? Was he... or is he just trying to live
I
forever?
I think Josh was on the right track. I think he made that. He split his soul in two, and that's like a Horcrux. I think that's the best explanation.
There's a deleted scene in the movie where he kills himself before.
Oh.
For real. He like jumps off
What?
the church. So apparently this is him trying not to go to hell, which I don't understand why that's a deleted scene, because that would at least kind of help clarify. I this was like the most confusing
Yeah.
part of the movie to me. Like, who's actually possessing her and why? I don't know if I know that.
The only explanation that I could find was that at some points they say like the people who are like the stigmatics, because they're so close to God and experiencing this, that they're also like more vulnerable to demons and stuff.
Yeah,
They said
do
that.
say
They
that.
said that during the movie. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's because unfinished business.
Oh boy.
What is this, Casper?
This,
Yeah.
the Stigmatics would be an awesome band name.
Hell yeah.
Just throwing that out there.
Pappy, I'm going to come to you on this. This is right around the time where she gets some holes in her feet. Before the show, you were just talking about how sweaty your feet were. But also, I really wanted to know, like, I feel like I've been around you when you've had like a handwritten essay, and we come back to it maybe an hour later, and you're like, "Wait, I wrote that? What does that even say?" So how does it feel to write a bunch and not know what it says?
I have some notes on this page, and I see Ace from. I think it was Ace Ventura in the Matrix because I was trying to make that joke. But I first of all, there's a weird like romance and like I would even say like almost theme of this movie that's totally half-assed and not developed.
Yeah.
Like Gabriel Byrne. Okay, for starters, Gabriel Byrne should have been like the sole focus of this movie. I think we've talked about that a lot, but like, there's a whole aspect of his character that I don't understand like his relationship with women. Like he views them as complications, but like he said that he doesn't like he must have had some kind of like complicated relationship in his past or something. He's not a virgin. He tells Patricia Arquette over lunch. Like I said, there's this weird attraction going on. Like earlier in Brazil, in the Vatican, I think like one of the only points of characterization that we get from him, like him just being a priest, is a bunch of like prostitutes come up to him.
That was a funny
and they try to
scene.
seduce him, and like yeah, it's a funny scene, but it's also like a choice like of this like larger theme that he's dealing with these temptations, I guess. But it's just not developed well enough, right? Like, did anybody buy the relationship? Like, first of all, Patricia Arquette's supposed to be 23? She's a 31-year-old playing a 23-year-old.
Wait, you don't think people in their 30s can play 20-year-olds? Come on, man. We can do it.
Kylo Ren was like 32 and he played an 18-year-old.
But like from the get-go, she wants to get in this priest's pants. Like when she's giving him the haircut.
At least they tell us that. He like sits down for the haircut.
I love that scene, by the way.
And she's like, "Hey, how you doing? How's your day?" And they're like, "Oh my God, she's flirting."
Yeah.
That's why they think she's fine, because she like has this religious experience, and then she's like flirting again, like she's good.
True.
But anyway, I think it's after like it was at the cafe where she has like her feet incident, and then she, I might be messing up the timing on this, but then like when they get back to her apartment, she, as the priest, she's being possessed, writes the gospel on her wall, and this is where you get the line like the messenger isn't important or whatever.
That's the only part of the movie that scared me. I thought it was also probably maybe my favorite. I thought it was the coolest part of the whole movie. The first time she talked, first time he talked to her, the rest of the time it didn't sound good.
Frankie. Frankie. Who are you?
Il messaggero non è importante.
No, that's a good point. And like Gabriel Byrne does what he does in this movie. Like the next morning, he takes so many pictures, and the movie shows us every one of the dozen pictures he takes, and it's so annoying. And like between that, like the flash and like the quick cuts in this movie, like if you're epileptic, you're fucked if you watch Stigmata. Like, good night. Like it's, I don't know.
R.I.P.
That's what the doctors thought she was coming down with.
Yeah,
was epilepsy. And there's oh my gosh, when she's running out into the street, it's like chaos. There's like 50 cuts when she just steps out off the curb. It's insane. I hate how this movie is edited.
I would call it like edgelord editing.
Yeah.
Well, we also get some really bad when she finally does get the like holes in her feet, and she's on the bed, and the bed somehow moves, and she's like floating. There's like fire everywhere all of a sudden, but it's the worst fire I've ever seen on
bad.
screen.
Like for 99, it might have been okay, but I said that to Brittany. I was like, "That's some pretty bad CGI." Maybe it was good for 99. I mean, have you seen what The Rock looked like in The Mummy 2? I mean, pretty bad.
I mean, Gabriel Byrne loves a burning set. He's on that burning boat in The Usual Suspects. He's here in some fake fire. It's great.
It's not just a clever last name. It's.
I'm pretty sure there's some good fire
lifestyle.
end of days too. Yeah.
Spooky spoilers this month has been filled with fire scenes.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't watch
I'm thinking of Hereditary and Lovecraft Country.
Sorry, go ahead, Jode.
No, I was just gonna have Josh kind of bring us home with the this last part. Like I said, is where I actually got a little bit interested with the like actual conspiracy in the church portion. After this last stigmata, the cardinal and the father, who's like his lackey, they come to like get her, and they find Gabby B in bed with Frankie. Josh, there's a couple different churches in the end sequence here, but we do kind of get a resolution to the conspiracy portion. You want to bring us home here?
Well, do you need, any of you guys get Goodwill Hunting vibes from that lackey guy that the cardinal has?
Dude, yes.
I don't know what that guy's name is, but
He's from Just Shoot Me.
I don't know what do you want me to say here?
I just resolve the conspiracy. I don't know, man.
What is the conspiracy? I don't understand.
So they're trying to cover up like this extra Gospel of Thomas or whatever, and so
Mikey. Oh, good. Okay, I was going to explain the conspiracy, but Josh, go ahead.
Are they doing an exorcism here?
Yeah, the cardinal sends Gabriel Byrne home because he has no power here. The cardinal's like, I'm going to take care of this situation. And he realizes through this exorcism of Patricia Arquette that it's this Father Almeida or whatever his name is. He's trying to expose that there are miracles in the church, that there is the secret gospel of Jesus / gospel of Thomas. And this guy, what's his name? He's the barefoot beggar from Game of Thrones. You already mentioned.
High Sparrow.
The High Sparrow is so caught up in the bureaucracy of the church. He wants to hide the truth at all costs, even if that means instead of exorcising Patricia Arquette, just straight up strangling her with his bare hands.
How are you gonna choke a legend?
Mikey, maybe this will help. Okay, so the Gospel of Thomas, it's saying that God and Jesus are everywhere in everything you see. You don't need to focus your faith in a middleman, aka the church, Catholic Church.
Mm-hmm.
So they're saying you don't. It's kind of like goes back to I don't know how many Jewish listeners we have, but people say that they were mad when Jesus came because they sold goats and sheep and stuff to sacrifice. So when he came in and said, you don't need to do that, that kind of caused some friction. Like, you don't need a middleman. It's kind of like that. I know I probably should have said that second part, edit point. But that was kind of just an example. So, that's the easiest way I can explain it.
Like, it undermines the Catholic Church in the way that Jesus undermined, I don't know,
kind of,
Judaism.
Yeah, it's just like a circle of that. I mean, I'm not saying that's what happened. I mean, that's definitely an interpretation of the Gospels with when Jesus came around, is that they thought that he was kind of destroying their hold on what they had of people. Not saying that they weren't really religious. I'm just saying, it's like, hey, we can be religious and sell this stuff. So.
Yeah, and the High Sparrow is trying to do this exorcism, and he starts spewing out all this counter Catholic rhetoric, and he's like, is Wayne Brady gonna have to choke a bit?
Yeah, he's like trying to kill her, like
to save the Catholic Church.
He's like trying to kill her and disguising it as an exorcism, kind of. That's what I got from it.
It's me, Father Almeida. Stop.
And then just to kind of end it, I guess, Father Andrew comes in and like throws him away, and he goes back in and like volunteers to be like the messenger, I guess. But eventually somehow does the exorcism, so Father Almeida leaves Frankie alone. Her stalagmites are gone after that, and
why did you wait until 50 minutes in to do that amazing joke?
And then Father Andrew actually travels back to Brazil. This is kind of the ending scene, but he travels back to Brazil, and Corey, I feel like you're a video game master. He manages to open like the one miscolored tile in the church to find the Dead Sea Scrolls under there. Did you notice that?
Oh yeah, this guy has played Ocarina of Time. He knows where to put the fucking bomb. He gets the power up.
It's glowing.
It's really similar to the spot that it's in The Rock. It's actually really similar to that.
It's like, Frankie, do you want to know who assassinated JFK?
A guy you've never seen or heard of.
But yeah, that's the end, and then it kind of goes through some of the conspiracy stuff that we already talked about. As far as the Gospel of Thomas being described as heresy and denounced by the church. I kind of wanted to just open it up here. I had a few lingering questions, but most of them have been answered. My one question was like, there are a couple of reverse water drips throughout the movie.
Yeah.
Does anyone have any clue what the fuck that was?
It's a prequel to Tenet. But
Resurrection,
but much better.
no breathing. It's bad. It's just that bad stylized stuff. Music video.
I don't get where it fits in the story, though. I don't know if he was just trying to do something cool, or every time that happened, that's kind of when she was possessed. I don't remember.
Dude, it's like a college project. Like, wow, a drip in reverse. Whoa.
I promise you, it's a lot cooler looking in Tenet.
People like this movie about as much as they seem to like Tenet, Brett.
That's so stupid.
Okay, yeah, I had a thing about that. So it has a 22% on Rotten Tomatoes, Stigmata, which makes sense. Ebert called it the funniest movie ever made about Catholicism. And most surprisingly to me, Gabriel Byrne got nominated for a Razzie, which I think is just like completely ridiculous.
Me too.
Ridiculous.
Maybe they combined it with, because it looks like, I was actually saving that for the things at the end, but I'm glad you said it. It looks like you got that for this and End of Days. And the funniest part is another Star Wars is that he lost to Jar Jar Binks. But I thought, I'll get to that later, but I love Gabriel Byrne in this movie, so.
Yeah, but like if we were gonna if I was gonna propose a way to fix a movie, like first and foremost would be like the overall aesthetic. Like we gotta fix a lot of this. But then second would be let's retool the story to focus way more on Gabby Pancakes. Like that's the main.
Exactly. That's why he can't get the Razzie if you come away wanting more of him. That doesn't make any sense. He's just like the scapegoat.
Mm-hmm.
Like, without him in this movie, this is a direct-to-DVD release, guaranteed.
100%.
Yeah,
Why do you call him
really
Pancakes?
big at the time.
What is this nickname?
His nipples or something? Is that what it is?
Yeah, I think it's big nipples.
Gabby Pancakes. Yeah. Hey, don't body shame the man. I wanted to see those nips, but we never got the sex scene between them, so didn't get to see Gabby Pancakes.
Yeah, we're not. We can see Patricia Arquette's bags, Gabriel Byrne's bags. We don't care. We just need to know you're willing to go there, director. Show us
Exactly.
bags.
It's already rated R. I don't understand why they wouldn't have done that.
Man, no one backed me up on that at the beginning of the pod. You guys just change a subject. Now here, 55 minutes in. Yeah, let's get into it.
I'm with you.
I was muting.
I can't believe it's even rated R. It's just
spooky.
So a lot of bad language and a lot of blood.
It's rated R for the blood.
It was actually going to be rated PG-13 and get a lot more audience, but the Catholic Church stepped in and pulled a couple of strings.
Yeah, one of the things that I listened to a different podcast on this movie, and they said that Rupert Wainwright, who's the director, he had directed some music videos for like MC Hammer and some other people, so he is actually a music video director, and that made the movie make a lot more sense.
Wait. His greatest work, though, and we all know this, is Blank Check. He directed Blank Check.
Wow.
It's a solid movie.
It's been a while.
Future spoilers pick. I'm almost 100% certain.
For sure.
Is his brother Rufus Wainwright? Rupert and Rufus?
I was actually looking that up, and then Brittany told me that Chumbawamba sings one of the opening songs, so I got really pumped about that.
I'd much rather talk about Chumbawamba anyway.
So let me go grab a whiskey drink real quick.
I'll grab a vodka drink.
Corey, you grab a cider drink. You got to be careful.
Man.
It's true. You don't want to see that side of me, trust me.
No.
All right, so this is the part of spoilers when we go to yeses and nos. We're gonna follow the introduction order. So, Corey, you wanna lead us into yes and no's?
Oh, we're following the introduction order. Okay. Well,
Isn't that what we always do?
sometimes we change it up, but that's fine. No worries.
We always go east to west, and I always have to go first. It's bullshit.
Corey, I'm going to give this movie the one yes that it's going to receive on this podcast.
What?
Holy shit.
Why?
What?
I was watching this movie and I was like,
You didn't say anything
I was
positive.
interested and engaged and enjoying it, like while I was watching it, like last night or the night before, whenever it was. I really was like sidelined by the fact that you guys all hated this movie. I was like, whoa.
Same.
I thought it was pretty good. I liked the style. I know it's like hokey and of its like time. It's like I said before, it's like the Craft kind of, but maybe like on steroids. It's like an extreme version of that, like this like late 90s industrial rock kind of thing that like crept into movies somehow. So there's a lot of that style going on, but I like that, so that's fine. Obviously, I don't like it. It can't be in everything, but in something like this, it fits. The story is slow, and there's like, extended shots of like Gabriel Byrne and Patricia Arquette just like talking, and then like the audio will fade out and like piano will start playing over them and stuff. But
That montage is great.
I don't know. I enjoyed it when that happened. I was getting sunk in, and maybe it's not like the greatest script ever, but I think it's well executed, and I just appreciate it for what it is. Gabriel Byrne is cool. Patricia Arquette, Pappy, you really got that in my head where you say like she sounds like she's always high, so that's gonna fuck with me now for probably ever, and I can see that, but I thought she was fine before I knew that. So anyway, it's a yes for me. I liked it.
Well, if I can convert anyone else to the camp of hating Patricia Arquette, I'm glad to do so. It's unfair. Like I thought that the Oscar speech that she gave a couple years ago was like pretty fucking unhinged. But other than that, I don't have any problems with her from a personal level. It's just like she just annoys me in the same way that I forget what you called it, Kyle, the late 90s industrial aesthetic annoys me. It's just, this is just not for me. It's a no. This movie is boring and bad. Like the extended shots that you talked about. Like I timed it. It was like a 1.5-minute sequence of Patricia Arquette getting tests that go nowhere. The pregnancy like subplot goes absolutely nowhere. The Gabriel Byrne like being attracted to women isn't like. I mean, obviously he's attracted to women, but like his temptation, I don't think is fleshed out well enough. Like if you want to make this movie about something, you could make it about Gabriel Byrne. You could make it about investigating the stigmatic, but like make it like that he's really hot for her, and that's the thing of the movie is like he is like fighting. Like we see him struggling with like trying not to like have sex with her as she comes on to him over and over and over again. Like that would be at least more interesting dynamic. I hate this movie, frankly, kind of for what it is. I wasn't scared at all, not even a little bit. Watch Seven. Watch The Exorcist back to back, and you've gotten the best part of like anything this movie has to offer. Solid no.
Me? Oh, Josh.
This is Josh from Goshen. Pretty sure I'm next. The cool thing about Gabriel Byrne is that he keeps getting knocked down, but he gets up again.
Yeah.
And you're never going to get him down. I'll give this movie a no. There's an episode of my favorite podcast, at least it used to be, Mysterious Universe, where it's kind of like this, like a lady in her mid-20s, late 20s, is like kind of searching in her spiritual life. She's like kind of reading some texts, but really she's just all about like clubbing and like living. And one night she takes some E and goes to this club, and while she's like sitting there thinking about like life and like this little moment, this supposed portal opens up and she sees like a vision of her life play out. Basically what I'm getting at is there's so many cool angles this could have gone, and this like podcast that probably cost $10 to produce is able to produce like a way cooler. It's just a shame because there's a lot of there's a rich well here to pull an interesting story from.
It's gonna be a hard no. It's just really boring, and Jordan, it's spooky spoilers, so I was waiting for anything to scare me throughout the entire movie, and there's nothing. I was waiting for a demon. I was waiting for, I don't know, like something to possess her and really fuck shit up. She goes around killing people, or a priest or something, but nothing. She's just thrashing around on various public transportation services, freaking out, getting new wounds. It's just all really boring. And yeah, it's just, the music is terrible, the whole aesthetic is bad, and I think it's scary to like one specific group of people. It's probably a horror movie for Catholic people or something, just because it's so niche to them. But I mean, for any other person, it's like, there's nothing here. There's no plot. We don't have any motivations for Father Almeida or anything. It was all just very poor storytelling to me. So I'll give it a hard no.
Thank you, Mikey. Brett?
Okay, I think I'm going to say a lot here. I'm going to try to keep it. Okay, so I agree with a lot that Pappy and Josh said. Like, I think this movie could have been better, a lot better, with Gabriel Byrne, who I actually thought was really, really cool in this movie. I've always been a big fan of his. And Josh, I think you're right. He's got a lot of rich stuff. But I know, guys, hold on to something. I actually quite like this movie.
Whoa!
I enjoyed it from start to finish. I actually, from like 15 minutes to about 45 minutes, I actually thought it was really, really good. I mean, it's not quite as good as Wainwright's Please Hammer, Don't Hurt Him, the movie, but I don't know. I found the information really interesting, and I was just really into it. Like I said, I thought when he talks through her the first time, like the first sentence, I thought that was creepy. I thought it was really awesome. And then I think every other time after that, I think it just sounded outright bad. Which is, okay, this would be my last thing and I'll wrap it up. Like Brittany and I were talking about how like it wasn't scary last night. They did show something that's like one of the scariest things to me, and they didn't go with it more. And I think you guys were talking about it in Hereditary. Like when they mentioned the picture and they're like, who's in the room with us? Like who's in that mirror? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, that never went anywhere.
I know, and that stuff scares the living bejesus out of me. And I think you guys talked about that in Hereditary, right? Like you could see the grandma or something in a room or a picture or something. That kind of stuff freaks me out, and I'm kind of glad they didn't go into that more, even though I think it could have made it cooler. But that stuff freaks me out, and I feel like this movie is full of a lot of missed opportunities. But I'm with Kylo. I didn't really like the aesthetic, but I liked it. I mean, I was into it. That's it. It's a solid yes for me.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Pappy, next time I win trivia, will you please remind me to check our list of audience requests, because I feel like my last few have been whiffs.
Well, it's been almost 12 months apart, Stigmata and Return to Paradise, and I don't know if our servers can handle the amount of plays that we're going to get from all of the demand from these
I'm just
movies.
trying to help out, you know. No, like I said on the last episode when I picked this movie, I literally just had it in an iPhone note under spoilers picks, and I don't know where I heard of this even. I'm guessing it was on another movie podcast somewhere that I got mentioned in passing. I thought this movie, especially for like the first 55 minutes, maybe an hour or so, was super, super fucking boring, and I actually said out loud, this movie is super boring and sucks, and almost turned it off last night to like finish right before this today. Persevered through it. I do love a good conspiracy, so it was a little bit redeemed towards the end, but it's not very good, and so it's a flaccid no for me, which gives this 2 yeses and a couple hard no's.
Hey Joe,
couple no's.
Can I add something real quick?
What is this?
Okay, I know.
Yeah.
Everyone hates Pappy hates Patricia Arquette, but she was married to 2 spoilers royalty people. During this movie, she was married to Nick Cage, and then after that, she divorced him and got married to Thomas Jane. So, I mean,
Okay. I thought you were going to say
no,
Anthony
that's
Daniels.
sweet. But yeah, she was married to
That's what I was waiting for.
what's his,
C3PO.
Nicolas Cage during this movie.
She needed the money.
Oh,
Not that this is
jeez.
about that, but
It's 2020, dude.
Wait, yes or no's on her attractiveness?
I'll give it a yes.
East to west.
No.
She's pretty hot in True Romance.
Mikey.
I only heard like 3 answers there. Wow. Okay.
It's a no. She's half demon or something. Throughout the
She's
whole
half
movie.
demon. She's got holes in
very
her
greasy
feet.
too.
One extra spot.
All right. So, Mikey, did you say what kind of food that makes this? Kind of a mixed bag.
Oh, this is day old holy bread and stale holy water.
What are those little crackers
Well,
called?
it should
the
have a
round ones?
crisp to it.
Body of Christ that's been left out too long.
Yikes. All right. So we're gonna get started on trivia. Does anybody need a break, or can we go ahead and go straight to it? All right. Sweet. So, as I said earlier, I tried a couple different ideas for trivia. One was cases of stigmata. That doesn't work because you can't find numbers because the Catholic Church hides it. The other one was
You don't know that.
incidents of epilepsy, which is also really hard to track.
Because the Catholic Church hides
This
it.
last one is just going to be exactly, yeah. I just didn't feel like reading all the medical studies, but what I landed on was not nearly as interesting, and it's going to be 1999 movies where Stigmata is actually number 47 based on gross box office earnings. What I want you guys to do, and we're going to go in the order that Pappy sent earlier, is we're going to try to name the top 12 movies based on box office that year. And it's going to be a one strike, you're out. But you do have a lifeline in which I will name the top billed actor in the next highest movie that has not been named, if that makes sense.
What year is it, Jordan?
1999.
1999 box office movies.
Also, for the record, this was the last episode of Spooky Spoilers 2020. I say with a heavy heart, so the host has a blank slate to choose from.
Damn it. I will also defend myself again that this is labeled a horror movie. That's the reason that I chose it.
So I'm first, or who did we say?
Yeah, so the order is going to be Mikey, then Kylo, then Pappy, then Josh, then Brett. And we're going to go Snake. So Brett will actually go twice, then back up the ladder.
What, but don't I have an advantage?
That is an advantage.
It's one strike, you're out, so yeah. You can win without answering.
Wait. Oh, yeah. Sorry, Brett, you're right. We should go back to the top. So we'll go Mikey, Kylo, Pap, Josh, Brett, then go back to Mikey. You do have the one lifeline, so use it wisely. Mikey, any 1999 movies in the top 12 you would like to name?
Gosh, Brett just high sparrowed you.
Oh, I can live with that.
I'm like 99% sure Matrix is a 99 movie, so I'll say The Matrix.
The Matrix is number 5. Excellent answer.
Literally the only one I could think of.
Yeah, I'm done for the next round.
Kylo, you're up.
The Matrix is a good selection. Mikey, though, we just did a podcast on a 1999 movie that I'm pretty sure was wildly successful. That is called The Mummy.
It was wildly successful. 155 million. Great answer, Kylo. Pat, you're
The
up
only
next.
one that I could think of right away, I'm glad Corey didn't take it, would be Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace.
Whoa.
That is number 1.
Automatic win.
430 million. This is incredible. Josh?
I don't think this is going to be top. What does it have to be in top 12?
Yeah.
What is the Stephen King? No, The Mist? The Mist was 2007. I don't know. Oh, the It miniseries. Oh shit.
Use your lifeline,
bro.
Someone already said that. Yeah, lifeline it.
Josh, you were just going through past episodes. You weren't even thinking of 99 movies.
You're like Hereditary. Missed.
Either we talked about 1994 movies or we talked about 1999 movies recently, and it's killing me.
The top billed on the next highest movie. So Pappy already named number 1. The top billed actor for number 2 is Bruce Willis.
That's a dead giveaway, dude. That's a dead giveaway.
Oh no.
Sixth Sense.
Josh.
That is correct.
Am I up?
Am I out? Sixth Sense. No, what year's Sixth Sense?
No, that's correct.
Yeah.
You're in.
Yeah,
That was right?
Of course it's right.
Oh.
I don't know. It made
Right.
that much money.
I'm gonna have to take my lifeline.
All right. One moment, please. The top build in number 3 is Mike Myers.
Ooh.
Big 90s guy, Mike Myers.
I will say Austin Powers, The Spy Who Shagged Me.
Wayne's
That's
World.
correct. Nice. That's number 3. Brett has used his lifeline.
How many lifelines do we get? Can we do that every time?
Just one. Who went
Mikey?
first again?
Me, I'm using a lifeline.
For number 4, the top billed person is Tom Hanks.
Ooh, that's a hot lead.
In 99, also big 90s guy. I want to say Castaway?
That is incorrect, Mike.
Ooh, that's what
That would've been my
that's
guess.
what I would have guessed. Ooh.
Kylo Ren memes.
That's got to be The Green Mile.
Incorrect.
Ooh.
That was my other choice. I don't know what else.
So can I use a lifeline?
Well, I don't think you need to because he already used it.
It's just you and me, right?
I'm in.
Josh is in still too.
I'm gonna get.
So I was trying to figure out if I should give you the second build or the first build for the next
I'll make it easier. I know this movie is 1999 for sure. I just don't know if it's in the top 12 because it's a spoilers movie, the Blair Witch Project.
Excellent, Pat.
That's in the top 12.
Stays in and does not use his lifeline. That is number 10.
It's a huge hit.
Oh my gosh.
Huge hit, Josh. And
Don't
you're
listen to that episode. One of the worst episodes of spoilers.
Yeah, I couldn't make it through that.
That'll be
one.
behind the Patreon. You can pay extra to listen to that.
We keep the good stuff behind the paywall.
Okay, so this is like I should be able to pinpoint this year better because I was in high school then, just barely. So I was a freshman. I can't remember if it was our coach. Okay, so this is a really crazy story. Our basketball coach took us to a movie because we did something good as a basketball team, and it was either 1999 or 2000, and it was "Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?"
Spoilers movie.
I gotta go with it. I think that was sophomore year, which would have been 2000, but I'll go with that.
I didn't ask for the story or any correct.
Oh my God.
We can edit all that out.
I award you no points. May God have mercy on your soul.
Brett.
Wait,
What
what
you
was
got,
the
man?
answer?
Wait, no.
I'm
Yeah,
not
it's
saying it.
It's still up for grabs.
First of all, Jordan, that might have been one of my all-time favorite things that's ever been said. That was really funny.
So, Brett, we're missing number 4, 6, 7, 9, 11, and 12.
I'm gonna have to piggy bank on somebody else's lifeline that I don't think nobody ever answered the Tom Hanks one, correct?
Right. I was wondering about that.
I don't know. This is my best guess. I'm going to say Toy Story 2.
Oh.
Ah.
Great
Wow,
guess, Brett.
that is
Great
correct.
guess, Brett.
Excellent work. Pappy, do you have another?
I need a lifeline.
All right. The top build on number 6. You guys are really killing this category. Top build is Tony Goldwyn.
I don't know.
Crap.
Don't know.
Do you have any other guesses?
Good game, Brett. Nah.
movie.
I do. Okay. All right. Let me think. I'll do this. This isn't going to be that movie.
That's fine.
South Park, Bigger, Longer, Uncut.
No. That was... Actually, I think that was just above Stigmata at number 46. Yep.
Yeah.
All right, Brett, you need a correct answer to wrap this
Why?
up here.
Why?
Because you and Pappy have answered the same number.
But I have the advantage. Okay.
It's going to go to a tiebreaker if you can't get one.
I don't think this movie made that much money, but it won Best Picture. I'll say American Beauty.
Good guess.
Incorrect.
Dang.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
Beauty here.
That was a good thinking, though.
Tony Goldwyn. What the?
Who the
Yeah,
fuck
who
is
the
that?
fuck is Tony Goldwyn?
Tarzan.
I fucking hate him as much as I hate Patricia
Tarzan.
Arquette.
The missing ones were Tarzan, Big Daddy, Runaway Bride, Notting Hill, and The World Is Not Enough.
Big Daddy.
The World Is Not Enough
That
made
would've
it.
been-
So bad. Is that the one with Halle Berry?
No.
Let's die another day.
Terry Hatcher.
Yeah.
Gotcha. All right, so tiebreaker then?
Is everybody back in?
No. What? No.
No.
Everybody's
Just
back in.
Just Brett and Pap. All right, so I did have one little. Oh, this sounds terrible. I did come up with one epilepsy question, which didn't work for the whole group, but it works as a tiebreaker. So because this movie, is full of flashing lights and whatnot, I would not advise anyone from these countries to watch this movie. But I have 4 countries here, and I need you to tell me which one you think has the highest prevalence of epilepsy as of 2017. Are you ready for the countries, Brett and Pat?
Yeah.
Wait. So Brett will just one of us will say a country first. How does this work?
Okay, since Brett has the advantage, I'll let him name first, and Pappy, you cannot name the same. Or actually, Brett, would you rather name first or last?
We can't.
You can't name the same one.
I'd rather go first.
Okay. The countries are Ethiopia, Cameroon, Ecuador, and Panama.
So we got North America, South America, and 2 Africa. Oh my gosh, this is not even close to any of that I would have guessed. I will say Ethiopia.
All right.
You talking
Sorry,
about
can you give
total
me my
number?
choices?
Total number or per capita?
Per 1,000.
Oof. Ecuador's
Okay,
got.
can you get?
Sorry.
Man, can I get my choices, please?
Pappy, the choices as I listed them were Cameroon, Ecuador, and Panama, putting aside Brett's Ethiopia choice.
I'm gonna say Panama.
Panama.
Nice tribute. So, Ethiopia has roughly 29 cases per 1,000 people. Panama has 57 cases per 1,000 people.
Honestly,
Pappy is our winner.
Honestly, when you
Never
said it was
been
per
so
capita,
happy.
I knew I had lost because I went with total number because Ethiopia's got more people than those other 3 countries combined. So I knew I was going to lose when you said that. So good job, Pap.
Man, just taking my moment of basking.
Don't care. I got cheated.
Complain about.
I got cheated.
Oh man, feels good.
Pappy, congratulations. For the audience, Pappy, one of the co-founders of Spoilers, gets to choose the movie for next week. Sometimes we break here to give people a chance to take a pee and Pappy a chance to think of some random-ass movie that no one's ever seen before. What do you need, Pat?
Give me like 30 seconds.
All right. Let's throw to Spoiler Man.
Yeah.
Cool.
because I got all my spooky movies at the top of my list here.
Spoiler Man here. Our email is podcastspoilers@gmail.com. Twitter is @spoilers_pod. Our Instagram is podcast spoilers. It's lit. Now you can check us out on Spotify, YouTube, Stitcher, Apple, and Google Podcasts.
All right, and we're back. We've been getting some comments that we're going to read. Thank you guys for engaging with us on the socials.
Yeah, so we love it when people like engage with us on any social media, and we get quite a bit of that, but there's a few we want to shout out in particular. And the first one is Ansel Hendricks at HendricksFilms_ on Instagram.
Great account.
Regarding our podcast spoilers Hoobie Halloween episode, he said, I mean, OFC, a fucking course. It's not Korean or Wenders, but it's not trying to be. It's an enjoyable time. Hoobie Halloween captures the spirit of Halloween and fall extremely well while making fun of other Adam Sandler films in the process. HendricksFilms_, we love that you love it. I honestly had a little bit of fun watching it, but
I don't trust that guy.
Yeah. Spirit of Halloween for who? Whose Halloween is like that?
Also, probably way more importantly, are our Apple reviews that we get, and I think Corey has one of those for us.
Yes, Spoilers did get an Apple Podcast review from a long acronym name, OFWGKTA1. It says, guys are great. I listen to all the movie reviews that I've seen and listen to them at work and love to see different POVs and different things I didn't see before in that particular movie. Great stuff, guys. Very nice review.
Thank you.
Wow, that was super nice.
I feel bad for him because I'm sure he hasn't seen Stigmata, so he'll never ever hear that review.
Good point.
Read the Hamilton one.
I always expect the worst with these social media engagement reviews and whatnot. No, thanks, guys. Pappy, you have your 80s movie that you teased in our break there.
Yeah, I had it down between a 2011 movie or an 80s movie, and I was such a good sport, I let Brett dictate the course of where we're going to go. This movie, the top billed person actually jumped out in the very early days of Spoilers when we first started calculating manually, just going through the movies and like doing a tally mark of who was the king. He was the early king for a very, very long time and got passed by some other Star Wars co-host or co-stars of his. But I was surprised. I think it was the It podcast I was listening back to. I actually didn't catch it at the time. We were talking about Amish culture, and we were schooling Kylo a little bit, and he like was surprised that we had buggies like in our neighborhood. So I'm gonna go with Harrison Ford, King in Our Hearts, Viggo Mortensen, 1985, Witness.
Great movie. His only Oscar nomination.
Never seen it.
Never seen it either.
It's slow, but it's good.
I take it back. I've seen like 10 minutes on AMC or something, but yeah, Witness.
Can't be as slow as Stigmata.
It's his jury and
just
dark,
as religious.
Staring at Harrison Ford for 2 hours, I'm okay with.
You want Indiana Jones to be your dad.
Yeah. Mikey's dad, Harrison Ford.
Bags alert, bags alert.
Yes.
Thanks for joining us, everybody. That was Spoilers.
I think Joni Mitchell's really overrated.
Dude, she just shrieks the whole time. It's like she's got a nice voice, but like, why do that falsetto shrieking? That's not good.
I think her whole career is built off the fact that she hung out with Bob Dylan for a while.
She hung out with a lot of famous people. She dated some famous people. I think that for sure. Plus, she's like the melancholy Mrs. or whatever. I don't know. I made that up. I don't know if that'll stick.
That will. Yeah.
It'll stick.
That was Spoilers.